What is up, WakPak, and welcome to the WakCast. We are back again, and we have got some very cool topics for you guys today. We're just going to start it off pretty big. I don't know if there's any other indie fans out there, but the AnnaPurna Interactive Showcase happened earlier last week, and they had a lot to show. We're going to start off with a deep dive into that. And they
Admittingly,
started off,
I don't know anything Annapurna, but we'll see what we got.
You know Annapurna from Stray, Journey, Out of the
Okay.
Wilds, which I've tried to get y'all to play several times.
Yeah, I've played 3
Fair.
indie games in my entire life, and they are Stray, Journey, and also Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, which was rad. I mean, don't get me wrong. All 3 were rad.
What
but
Remains of Edith Finch? The list goes on. They make some very banger games with really good storytelling through really fun and creative gameplay. They also mostly work with just indie developers across the world. So you're getting games from everywhere by everyone. And I just think they're super cool. I mean, I love the games that they help produce. And so we're just going to run through the interactive showcase a little bit here. They started off with a game called Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. I think it's been anticipated for a while. This wasn't an announcement. It was just to showcase that it's still coming. It's still being worked on. But this is like a puzzle game with got a kind of a spooky vibe to it.
Nice.
But not like spooky and like dark and scary, but more mysterious. I don't know, the kind of spooky that Control had going on. I was kind of getting from that.
Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
Yeah, it looks
That's
fun. Y'all know I love a puzzle.
That's a tongue twister.
I mean, watch the trailer for that. I'm only gonna go in depth over a couple of these. I'm gonna run through like the list, and then the last few I'll talk a little more about.
Does the character have laser
watch
vision?
The showcase. I don't know yet. I don't know. It was still a pretty pretty mysterious.
I feel like that's a missed opportunity if they don't have laser vision.
So is the game about Superman? Because that's what it sounds like.
Loki and Annapurna has gone above and beyond. They have dropped Superman under our eyes. No.
All I heard was Lois Lane and the Laser Eyes.
Nice. The game sounds sweet.
All right, we're going to move on from that because they're also dropping Lush Foil Photography Sim. And if you've ever felt like playing a photography sim, this seems like a good one.
Bro, P-game? All right, so that's a good concept, and I'll tell you why. With 2 words, Pokemon Snap.
I was about to say Pokemon Snaps. Yeah.
Like,
sick.
That ever since that game, I've been like, yeah, photography games are lit. I'm going to drop another one, all right? Fatal Frame. Okay? Photography games are lit. So, like, I mean, if they can take advantage of, like, Unreal Engine 5 for this, I don't know how it looks.
No, I recommend you look it up because I'm going to tell you this developer spent probably an ungodly amount of hours on the grass alone. This is probably going to be the most realistic looking photography sim that's cool. I could be super wrong about that. It's not like I did a deep dive on photography sims before this, but you watch the trailer, it looks great. So yeah, if that sounds interesting to y'all, check that one out.
Put a picture on screen for the audience right there.
Look at that picture, man.
Look at the picture.
Pokemon Snap.
If not, here we are. Bro, also, everybody check this out. To a T. They dropped a trailer for a game called To a T, and it's about a boy who is stuck as a T shape, and he lives his life. And it's about
real.
Him living his life with your faithful companion dog helping you out along the way. And I think it's just a game about finding yourself and accepting your limitations and seeing that, exploring the possibilities it gives you.
That sounds insanely wholesome.
Cute. Right? Yeah, it seems
it's
super
the story
wholesome.
Of Ice
the trailer was like a whole little musical number.
Tea.
He very well could. Check that one out.
I feel like we keep throwing Red off every time we say something. Red's like, damn it, just let me talk.
No, I'm just trying to transition. I don't want this to go too long because I don't want people to get bored. I'm trying to keep the hype and the engagement.
Bro, I'm creating the hype. What are you talking about? All right. It's a game. You're going to play as iced tea, become a water tea. Look it up. All right.
I don't think we have the rights for that. Rick and Morty's going to come in here and be like, I'm sorry.
Oh, gee, who's suing you?
The entire South is going to be like, are you trying to copyright iced tea right now?
No, yeah. But being stuck in Teapot, I mean, of course, like it's been a huge meme. So like it just makes sense that someone would eventually make a game that actually incorporates the T-pose.
Yeah, I will say from the trailer, he has a little helicopter ability.
Like, oh my god. He's like a Beyblade you can play as. That's sick.
I literally think it is something like where your dog helps you wind up to like shoot off for a bit.
Oh my god.
So like maybe he might Beyblade, dude. Maybe there will be battles. You'll find other letters or something.
Bro, you know those toys when you were a kid and you like spin it with your hands.
Yeah.
Fly away.
Yeah, the little like princess toys.
God, that was exactly what I was thinking of. The little princess ones. Holy shit. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
So moving on, they also dropped a game called Flock. And Flock looks like a really fun online multiplayer game where you travel around and gather very unique animals and have them join your flock.
Bro, it's
Are you a bird?
You are like a little person who flies around on a giant bird. And
so so it's kind of like Noah's Ark.
You go around and there's different animals and creatures around depending on time of day and location, and then you have to kind of tame them real quick. You do like a song or something to them to get them to join your flock. But it seems really cute. It seems like a good game to play with like a significant other or just your friends if you just want to fly around and look at some cute creatures. Nice, like Sarah and I are pretty excited for that one. But moving on to this game actually is out already, so you could go ahead and get this. It's called Mundane maybe. But this is a hand penciled horror game. And
whoa.
If that doesn't intrigue you enough, I don't know how to. So somebody sat down and hand drew with a pencil this entire horror game.
Oh, like Cuphead.
Yeah, kinda. I guess, but yeah,
but kinda. Like a horror game.
Yeah, but not 2D like that. Like it's a little. It's from a third person perspective or first person perspective. So like, again, you guys just gotta go watch this. Check out the trailer. This game is out now though. It's $20, and I'm definitely gonna get it.
Oh, I see it.
Hand penciled.
Yeah, look at that. Look at those images.
This does look kind of crazy. What the hell?
Yeah, I was waiting to drop that on y'all because I thought Alex might be interested in that. It's I mean,
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Spooky too. The trailer, it made it look pretty scary, and like you just have to appreciate the time and effort that went into that.
Fair enough. So, it does have a very
check that one out.
Eerie atmosphere to the screenshots already. I like that.
Yeah, just check out the trailer. Check out the trailer after we finish. It's good. And before I get into like more in depth of the last couple games I'm going to talk about it, they also do, which I really like at these showcases, they do some of their a little deep dive on some of their developers that they're working with. So definitely watch to check that out. They spotlighted Maramitu Games.
Interesting.
And Glass Revolver Games. In Glass Revolver, they talked a little bit about his game We Kill Monsters, which he is currently in developing right now, and I think it's supposed to release either later this year, maybe early 2024.
Nice.
But check those out; they're super interesting. I won't talk too much about them, so that you guys are forced to go watch the showcase.
Nice.
So you're forced to
you've been debated.
Very excited for the last couple of topics. Probably the game with the most hype right now that AnnaPurna is working with releasing this year is called Cocoon. It's a game by Geometric Interactive. And they're working with the lead gameplay designer from Limbo, and Inside.
Ooh.
I don't know if you guys have played those.
I have. I've played all through both of them. That's cool.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
super fun, really creative stories. So he's working on this as well. So this is an adventure across worlds within worlds. You master world leaping mechanics through solving puzzles, all while unraveling a cosmic mystery. They also did showcase a little bit of Guardian battles, so it's not just puzzle solving. There's a little bit of RPG in there, a little combat, and a ton of just like deep diving into multiple worlds. It looked really cool, and that one is set to release later this year. I think November.
Sick.
Yeah, they that one they also have a little like deep dive into, separate from the showcase. You can watch the developer talk about it a little bit. Moving on though to Thirsty Suitors. Thirsty Suitors.
Thirsty Suitors.
Thirsty Suitors by Outer Loop Games. Oh yeah. It's a story-driven adventure that unfolds through turn-based battles, skateboarding, and cooking. You help the main character Jala learn to love herself and to heal the wounds of her past. And I don't know, I randomly saw this on Steam, like a trailer for it. And it just looks really fun. You like following this character, Jala. Her and her family look really interesting. It looks like there's a lot to learn about them. And then it also has that
like you shooting down the advances of all the men in town, you know.
So I was about to get to that. It also has this kind of Scott Pilgrim-esque vibe to it, where she is going back to her hometown and she is confronting all of her past exes. And you in battle have the choice of either flirting with or full on rejecting them, you know. So it does have
suitors.
Exactly. And
oh my god.
Yeah. So definitely look into this one. It looks really fun. It looks like there's going to be a really like heartwarming story at the core of it. As well as just a mix of different gameplay, like skateboarding. So
that's cool.
And with a name like
I'm all about it.
You know, there's going to be a lot of comedy in it. So
naturally,
yeah,
that should be amazing.
So super excited for that one. And then of course, AnnaPurna actually ended with a banger. They have announced AnnaPurna's first internal title. So this is an AnnaPurna game. Not them collaborating with outside developers. This is an internal project they're working on, and it's Blade Runner 2033.
Oh, what?
Labyrinth.
What?
Yes,
that's cool.
They are touching in the Blade Runner world. So this is set between the original film and 2049. Takes place after the events. Oh my god, I can't even read. It takes place after the events of the.
I never learned.
I didn't watch the movie, so man, this event could be anything.
This could be literally anything.
After it takes place, the events of the Bedrock.
The events of the bad cock.
So it takes place after the events of the Babadook. Okay, cool.
Right, full screen. But no, Blade Runner is super cool. I mean, I feel like, Phantom Liberty is coming out.
The Blackout, bro. That's what it says, right? I think it does say Blackout.
Blade Runner was a heavy inspiration for Cyberpunk, so like that's I love Blade Runner.
I actually
style
just started a new game of Cyberpunk like today. Actually, I was like, I want to try it because like I went through the first time. I was like a Cyberdeck user, I was hacking my way through the world, and now I'm like, I really want to try something else. So like I'm trying to do like either a Sandevestein or the Berserk one.
Nice.
Super strongness.
I will say, if you're gonna rock Sandevestein, use a very powerful sword because it makes it so much more like, I don't know. I just loved when people would turn around and I would be like, and then pull out the sword and just teleport. Like that shit was so cool, yeah. So, does the Blade Runner game have like any type of footage for it, or was it just an announcement?
It was a pretty low key trailer. There was like it wasn't gameplay trailer at all. But it did look really cool.
Nice.
So yeah, as I was trying to say, so it takes place after the events of the blackout. If you know Blade Runner, I'm sure you know what that is. And it asks, what does a Blade Runner do when there are no replicants left to hunt? So we've got tons of time to speculate about that, but like, I think huge title for AnnaPurna's first internal.
I kind of hope they take it like a detective route, kind of like a Disco Elysium, but then like also elements of like Sifu for like combat.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I feel like watching the trailer, I could like feel a little bit of that. Again, there was no gameplay though, so like, but I feel like the detective vibe was definitely there.
Nice.
That seems
Cyberpunk Detective's always a solid choice.
But yeah, again, so that was the showcase. As of recording this, it happened last week. So just go on YouTube, check it out. It's like 30 minutes and well worth your time.
Nice.
And why not just get excited for even more games coming? But yeah, so that was the showcase. I'll turn it over to Symbiote to move us right into the next shit.
No, yeah, I mean, that was a lot of information to absorb. The Blade Runner one sounded really cool.
Yeah, that was like the most hype announcement.
The T-pose ones, I think, is just really creative. Like, I'm really glad to still see people like take stuff that's so like memey and just like, yeah, we're going to just incorporate this as
all of us
something
right now
in our game.
I can't do it all the way.
Justin T-pose.
Just T-pose.
Boom, clip it.
Shouts out to you, girl.
That'll be the thumbnail.
Heck yeah. Sweet. So yeah, I mean, I've never really, I don't know, I've never really been a massive indie gamer, but there are certain indie titles like Life is Strange that have just knocked it out of the park for me. So I am kind of down to like branch out and try some new style games.
Well, that's what
I feel like there's this like massive conception that like indie games are kind of like not as advanced as like AAA titles in the sense of like a lot of them were like side scrollers and like simple gameplay. But like for me, it was really Kenna Bridge of Spirits where I was like, nah, these indie games are becoming like fully fledged games. Like the games you fell in love with, like Sly Cooper and stuff, is like, yeah, they're like more simple than like some of these AAA titles, but like sometimes being more complicated just causes problems, as a lot of AAA releases.
Well, we're seeing that a lot now. Yeah, we're seeing that a lot now, and I feel like indie developers are able to consistently crank out hits, you know.
Yeah, I like to think of it as like indie horror films. Like a lot of like some of them are schlockfest and cheesy, but some of the best horror films ever made have been indie productions that were like sleeper cells. So I feel like gaming is the exact same way. Like, not every indie game will appeal to you, but one day you'll find one that you're like, damn, I enjoyed that a lot. I wonder what else they have that's kind of this same format.
And again, it was Outer Wilds. Go play Outer Wilds, but don't look up anything about it. Just go play it. You'll love it.
It stays
I'm talking to the fans
up.
and you guys. But then I looked into them and I was like, oh, they made Journey. Journey was like one of my first.
I did watch you play Journey a lot, and it seemed it was like breathtaking, especially to know nothing about it and to just watch it was like, wow.
Bro, and that's why I can't wait. There's a new game called Sword of the Sea, and I'll probably force us to release a whole episode about that. But
nice. Hell
it's made by the Journey people and a couple others, but
well,
let's move on.
Yeah, keeping the boat running. So I sent a link, so I imagine we've all seen it by now. Of course, we all know that DC Animated Studios kind of shut their doors down a couple years ago and decided to let those IPs branch out to other animators and other studios. And coincidentally enough, Warner Brothers Japan has just released a trailer for their Suicide Squad anime called Isekai.
Oh, yeah.
So that seems a little crazy to me because I think if I read right, the translation for Isekai means another world. So I feel like this will be a version of these characters that we're not completely used to. And we also don't have a whole lot of concrete evidence. The only thing that we really know is that they're going to feature a wide range of Suicide Squad members. So we might see Killer Croc and Deathstroke and, you know, maybe Deadshot and some of them. But from the trailers, it seems like it's going to focus heavily on Joker and Harley and a story that they have together, where there was a part of the trailer where they were fighting an army of like pig people. So it's going to be very anime-esque and will probably rely on more of an anime style storytelling than it will pertain to the comic books. So that's really interesting. Like whether or not we'll even see that for some time, since it's a Japanese show, I'm not sure, but DC's not been dropping any bangers recently. Even in the animated field, some of their movies have been kind of ass. So to see this
their best projects, I think, recently was the Harley Quinn show on HBO.
Yeah, true. Harley Quinn is a really good show. I like the animation.
That came out several years ago.
Yeah, they're still running strong somehow.
No, I could see this working well. I mean, we all saw Batman Samurai. That was good.
I was one of the very few people that heavily enjoyed Batman Ninja's like style, the story they told. Like I really dig the old school looking Robin and the red hood with the basket. Like it's so cool.
The animation style did kind of throw me off. It wasn't like how it looked. It was like the choppiness of it. Like that's what kind of threw me off.
Yeah, it was.
But maybe after seeing Spider-Verse, it's just maybe all animation you'll be fine with now.
Yeah, like that was another
Spider-Verse
thing.
Had us going through decades
me and
of
Justin
animation.
Noticed about the new Ninja Turtles is like after Into the Spider-Verse, that has just become the ground format for animated storytelling now. It's like that choppy type of animation, but like I've never been bothered by it. I think Across the Spider-Verse like upped its animation, which made it not so choppy, but I don't know. I still kind of dig it. It comes off to me as like kind of like a video game, but it's not. It's a movie. So I like get kind of immersed into the stories and everything. But this one just looks like a full-on anime, which is trippy.
Honestly, you brought it up though, and I just want to talk about Ninja Turtles for a second. That movie looks amazing. Like
we'll probably deep dive into this in another episode.
Yeah, it's coming out in August, and I mean, just the cast alone. It's being produced by Seth Rogen, which is great. He's a huge
one of my favorite things about the trailer is when they introduce his name, it says from permanent teenager Seth Rogen. And I was like, I love that for some reason.
Oh, yeah. And
that's so cool.
I feel like every Ninja Turtle movie we've gotten in the past, like they're not teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles because they're not teenagers. They're like adults.
Yeah.
Gruff, scary adults. And like, I feel like everyone fell in love with the Ninja Turtles as a cartoon. So keeping it as an animated movie, I feel like is the right choice. We actually get that teenage vibe from the Ninja Turtles. So that's really nice. And then when you look at the cast, it's just star-studded, man. You got Seth Rogen playing Bebop and John Cena playing Rocksteady. you got Jackie Chan playing Master Splinter,
really
man.
Like nice.
Ice Cube's going to be the main antagonist.
Superfly. Yeah, that looks dope.
And all the mutants is just like so many famous actors. If you get the chance, look up the cast. I guarantee there's going to be a voice actor in there that gets you pumped for this movie.
It was one of those things that while watching the Meet the Cast featurette on YouTube, me and Justin were just like, oh, no way. Yo, him too. No way. Oh my God, him too. Oh, him too. Like we were just freaking out the entire trailer. It looks like
Seth Rogen really pulled all of his.
He just brought all of his like his friends and comedians and was like, "You guys want to be in a Ninja Turtles movie?" It looks absolutely fantastic. I cannot believe that him and John Cena are Bebop and Rocksteady. They absolutely, like, in the trailer, they sound so good together. It's amazing.
It's great. John Cena is one of those people that I feel like he just has really good chemistry with just about anyone.
I love John
Cena. Very accepting guy, you know?
I mean, he gets some flack for Bing Chiling. But I
been acting for a while now.
Yeah. I don't know. I love it. And it's like, well, The Rock did the same thing, but like John Cena stays a pretty cool guy in real life. And like, you never hear anything about him being like over dramatic about stuff. So I feel like whenever he gets offers like this, he's just like, oh, bro, totally. Like, right, pencil me.
John Cena didn't single-handedly destroy the DC universe.
So. Shots fired. Or has what was
like, I can't he didn't do that by himself.
There was a whole thing where for a while we were just associating DC as Dwayne Comics because he literally thought that's what was about to happen. Was like, I'm just gonna be DC, and it's like, nah, your movie was not that good. Like, sorry, it was fine, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
No, yeah, and you offended my boy Henry Cavill, and
yeah. Well, like, look at what The Rock did with Black Adam, and then look at what John Cena did with Peacemaker. Peacemaker was a character that absolutely nobody knew about, and now everyone's like, oh, I love Peacemaker. He's so silly. True. You know, like that's how you bring a good character to life. And I have no doubts that he's going to make Bebop and Rocksteady like a household name now. When people think of Ninja Turtles, they're just going to think of Bebop and Rocksteady. So that's really awesome. It's
probably going to be hilarious.
I will admit, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, ugh, they're redoing Ninja Turtles again. So I like didn't really focus in on the trailer at all. I just let it play. Yeah. And then after seeing the trailer and watching the Meet the Cast, I'm like, this is probably the best course of action to reboot Ninja Turtles. Like, hell yeah.
It brought thoughts to my head. Like, there's been so many Transformers movies that just focus on like trying to make it as realistic as possible and action packed. And I'm like, but no one's a Transformers fan because of the Transformers movies, you know? People are Transformers fans because of the Transformers cartoons. So why not just take that chance and just do an animated movie?
They might.
And see how it goes.
Well, if they, and that's what's so weird. It's
if
like
they can, though.
The Beast Morphers were originally introduced in their own standalone, like, terrible budgeted show called Beast Wars, but everyone fell in love with them because of Beast Wars. Yeah, so in total, they should stop making live action Transformers movies, the same with Ninja Turtles, and just stick to the animated shit. Like, Ninja Turtles is going to probably be really good.
Is animated, just do an awesome animation. I kind of feel the same about G.I. Joe, but G.I. Joe I feel like is heavily outdated now. I just don't think it would work in today's media.
Yeah, well, that's like what I was telling you is like outside of cartoons, G.I. Joe is literally just every military action movie ever. Yeah. The only difference is they're like, this guy's Sidewinder and this is Duke. And it's like, that doesn't mean shit. But like if you animated it, it'd probably be a lot better. But
talking about the fall franchises, we might as well bring up the new Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, there is a new Indiana Jones.
Which
The Dial of Destiny or some shit.
I swear it was Indiana Jones 4 because that's how bad Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was. I was like, this is the fourth one, right? And then I Googled it and was like, oh no, this is part 5.
Crystal
like,
Skull.
Man, Crystal Skull wasn't that bad. I feel like the only reason Crystal Skull is like considered bad is just because the other 3 Indiana Jones movies were so good.
I was about to say, if Justin gets canceled for anything on this show, it'll be saying Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was not that bad. There's gonna be
they had some solid scenes, man. Like when the lady got eaten by the ants. It might not have been a lady. It might have been a man.
That was awful.
Well, that was like when you start your movie off with Indiana Jones surviving a direct nuclear blast by hiding in a refrigerator.
Right.
I mean, come on, dude.
But that movie made one of my favorite Easter eggs in Fallout New Vegas. So
and Fortnite.
Okay.
And Fortnite. Yeah, but like when you like Indiana Jones has always been rooted in like history. That was the point. And then Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was like, it's aliens. It was like, what the fuck? Like, that's so random.
Yeah, okay.
Honestly, I only want to see the new one because Fleabag's in it.
No, I'm not saying it didn't go off the rails, you know.
I can't with Indiana Jones. I can't.
It's not like there weren't as many casualties as people like to say.
Yeah, so all that to be said, if you want to reboot a franchise, go animated. That's the way now.
Yeah, just do an animation for it and get some really good voice actors and try not to abuse your animators. Thank you.
Amen. Yeah, shots fired to Sony. Like, good Lord.
Because now we have to wait like 16 fucking years to see the ending of Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
So also, big announcement.
Yeah, big announcement is they posted on the internet directly after the movie dropped that Beyond the Spider-Verse would release March 24th, 2024. And that is starting to look more and more like a lie. The animation studio that did Spider-Verse, they had a lot of drama happen behind the scenes, and now they are projecting maybe an early 2026 release. So that's super bummy. That's a 3-year wait for the ending of this story. And it's it's rough.
And like it was just like they ended it with like the hardest cliffhanger
I know
I've ever experienced.
Well, they tried to. I feel like they tried to do an Infinity War, and the only reason why Infinity War worked was because they filmed both movies back to back, so they could end on a cliffhanger and then be like next summer Endgame, and it worked for them. But like when you've got something like animation,
yeah, well, that's what I assumed happened. I assumed they had already worked on both parts.
Well, didn't
split it, but
Into the Spider-Verse release in like 2018 or some shit.
That's the thing. It's been like 5-6 years almost. So that's why I'm like, I assumed, they were working on both movies, and that's why it's split and going to release next March. But they apparently are not even really started on the second. So 3-year wait.
That's rough.
It said about July 2026. So
yeah, and like honestly, like
don't lose hope.
I really hope that the parent company here doesn't like strain and rush these animators that hard and it ends up being like a horrible movie.
I doubt.
Hopefully everything's written. I mean, hopefully the script is fully written. I feel like that'll make it like a little easier.
I mean, I feel like they have a good push. Like from everything that I've seen, Across the Spider-Verse is definitely rated as one of the best movies of the year so far. So I feel like they have a really good incentive to work really hard on Beyond the Spider-Verse. But when you've got 100 animators walking out due to unfair working conditions, it's not looking promising. Maybe they'll just rush this out to be done with it, and that would be kind of disappointing.
Which would be a huge shame. And honestly, I feel like if they take that route and this ends up being a bad movie, I legitimately think it will be the death of the superhero movie era.
Yeah, it's been on a
that.
steady decline the past couple years. I didn't used to think it was a thing, but superhero fatigue is definitely taking people right now.
Fatigue, the writing has not been up to par.
Look at anything Marvel's really.
They peaked.
Algorithmic.
They peaked.
Yeah, that's the word. Algorithmic. It's just like it's a formula, and they're like, oh, people like this, so we'll just do it and change the names of the characters, and it's gonna make us a bunch of money. And that, I feel like that's what it basically boils down to, is they're just like, we're trying to make a bunch of money, and it's like,
that's it's Sony. It's like,
put that care into it like you used to, man. But I mean, I think it might be a good thing overall, like, to just kind of get some of these like artists and studios to try and start stepping away from the superhero stuff. Like,
yeah,
well, yeah, I think there is a pressure to release high quality shit now, and I feel like that pressure is coming to a boiling point where like they are just gonna have to pay people to give them the best, because that's kind of what we demand.
Well, it's almost damn near perfect segue into high quality animation drawing shit out longer than it needs to be. We got a 12th trailer for Attack on Titan, the final part, season 2, which
I swear it's ended twice now.
It's ended twice already.
Well, that was the thing. The last time they dropped, I was like, this is it. We're snowballing toward the end now. This is going to be it. And then it was like an hour and 15-minute special that ended on a cliffhanger and said to be continued. And I was like, but in this trailer, we actually did get to see some crazy stuff that I'm like, I just don't know how this is going to go. Like, it seems like the trailer is only like maybe a minute long. It focuses heavily on Armin and his decision of using the Colossal Titan to kill Eren, which is pretty crazy. But one of the craziest things we saw in the trailer was Mikasa ODMing through Eren's ribs, and then she stops in the air and throws her hands out and has giant fucking bird wings come out of her back. Like, never in my life have I thought Mikasa would have giant bird wings, but that's one of the things they showed. They also kind of tease what we can assume is the death of Reina, which has been coming for quite some time now. Reina's been a big issue since the show started. And if you don't know Reina and it's too old, he was the one that bullied Eren at first with the blonde hair.
The blonde one.
And like he slowly have progressed from being a villain to being one of the best characters on the show. So I am kind of like worried for where he's going, but they said that the show is going to end a lot differently than the manga did. And the manga ended in a way that pissed off a lot of people. So I don't know how well this ending will be. But like now we finally have a fall 2023 release for what should be the final episodes of Attack on Titan, if we're lucky. So that's interesting. If you have
part 3 coming in 2025.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the new trailer, I highly suggest going to watch it, because they don't really show anything that's going to spoil the story for you. But what they do show you is some crazy visuals. And I mean, Mappa Animation came in and did season 4, and it was truly, without a doubt, some of the best animation I've ever seen in an anime. So I have high hopes they're going to kill.
I will say that their animation for the past couple seasons has been fire. Like,
yeah,
they've been fantastic.
They've now got hired on to do Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. They're also, I think they're going to be doing the next Demon Slayer movie as well. So they came in, they showed what they could do with Attack on Titan 3, and all these animation studios are just yanking at them right now to like, do something for us, do something for us.
And speaking of Jujutsu Kaisen, which is an anime series I've never watched before, they have a game coming out.
I've seen 2 episodes.
Yeah,
maybe they were good though. It's good.
Kind of like,
I've heard it's really good. I've heard nothing but positive things about it.
Anytime I talk to someone, they're like, "You like fighting? Did you like Bleach?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, you would love the setting of Jujutsu Kaisen. You just gotta give it a watch." And I want to.
Soundtrack
there's just
also
been
fire.
So much stuff coming out that like it just.
I don't even know where to watch it.
It's on HBO Max.
Yeah, you just got to get a Crunchyroll, bro.
Or if you've got Crunchyroll, you can watch it there too. But they finally announced a game. It looks like it's probably going to be done by Bandai Namco, like all the anime games. So it looks a lot like Naruto and Demon Slayer's games did, which is fine. It's
the My Hero games versus.
Yeah, I think it's fine as long as you can tell a good story with it, but there's going to be a lot of people that are like, this is just copy and paste repetitive shit that we've seen 1,000 times in the past. But like Justin said, absolutely know nothing about this show. I know that there's like maybe demons or something involved, and there's this Kakashi looking guy who kicks ass. And that's like all I really
I'm
know.
not even really gonna try to explain it, but it is kind of like this kid is like holding on to the power of like a very strong demon, and he's kind of like keeping him trapped inside of his body so that he doesn't like go out and fuck up the world. It's pretty sick though. Yeah.
Whoa!
From what I've seen, it was cool.
Just out of the blue, be like, spoiler warning for Final Fantasy 16.
They didn't know what it was until you said it.
Dog. So canceled this episode.
We are getting canceled as fuck this episode.
Welcome.
But still on the topic of anime and video games, we actually have some new concrete evidence of what we're going to be getting for the next Dragon Ball Kakarot DLC, and I'm pleasantly excited.
Yeah.
Which I just want to say is mind-boggling considering how old Dragon Ball Kakarot is.
They just dropped new DLC for Xenoverse 2, dog. Like, when it comes to Dragon Ball Z, they run it down, son.
They are not playing.
What's really cool about this one, so everybody thought we were going to get like Broly or maybe some GT stuff, and they're actually going backwards. So this DLC is going to be a prequel to the events of Dragon Ball Kakarot, and it is actually the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament in which Goku and Piccolo first meet and face off in front of hundreds of thousands of people. So what's cool about this, they're going to give us a little bit of the Kid Goku and the Demon King Piccolo background so we can be more set up for the battle between Goku and Piccolo. But a lot of the screenshots they've released just look so good, and I'm really excited for them to explore the Dragon Ball era of storytelling, because it's something they've ignored for just such a long time.
No, yeah, I agree with you. Like, I feel like the Dragon Ball era really just gets forgotten about most of the time. And then, honestly, there's a lot of people out there that will say like the Dragon Ball era was the best. It's like the Dragon Ball era and the Saiyan saga specifically are like the best of what Dragon Ball has to offer. And there's a lot of people that stand by that opinion.
Yeah,
mostly just because power scaling gets ridiculous.
Yeah,
in the series.
True.
Well, I mean, shit. Look at Gohan now. Like,
right, Beast Gohan.
Gohan's new hair is like literally out to here, and it's just so silly to me. But yeah, that's really cool. But they also did not just announce that DLC. They announced that there will be a season pass 2, and that is only the first of 3 new DLC expansions coming out. So the other 2, we have absolutely no information on.
Sorry, you're telling me I'm gonna have to buy a new season pass for this game I bought like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's also a Dragon Ball Z thing to do.
And it's
is
great
they have
because,
like 4 season passes.
I will say though that this is one of the only games that I immediately replayed. Like usually I play a game like all the way through one time, do all the side quests and stuff. But this time I did that and then was like, I'm gonna jump right back in because it was so good. But I haven't touched any of the DLC.
They outdid themselves. It's
such
a love letter to the Dragon Ball series.
Third time, and then play all the DLC and get ready for the new DLC, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't played any of the DLC, there's already, you've got some Battle of Gods content, you've got some Revival of Frieza content, the history of Trunks, and the story of Bardock. So you've got a lot of stuff to go through before this releases, but they refuse to release any details whatsoever about the other 2 story expansions. I've seen some rumors say it's going to be the Broly movie finally. I've seen some people say it's going to try to make GT canon as like an alternate dimension DLC. Like I've seen.
What if we get like, what if it's like Garlic Jr.?
Yeah, they could be sticking with old school. They could just do some Garlic Jr. shit and give us the Blackwater Mist, which is literally the one season or saga that everyone, I'm like, yeah, you remember the Blackwater Mist saga? And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, the one where Garlic Jr. turned all of Earth into vampires. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And that happened. That was a real thing. Like he turned Piccolo into a vampire. Krillin was a vampire. There was all kinds of crazy stuff happening due to the.
Can Piccolo even be a vampire as a plant?
Spoiler alert: Piccolo was faking it. He was not an actual vampire, but Krillin.
What I thought. Plants can't be vampires.
No, Krillin was not either. So they both faked being vampires. But truth be told, Piccolo was a scary fucking vampire. Like
that would be terrifying.
Piccolo is it being and it was a part of the show where Goku was dead, so all you had was just Kid Gohan being like, I have to save the world, and having to fight like vampire Piccolo. Just absolutely nuts.
All you had was Yamcha.
All you had, not even Yamcha was a vampire. Roshi was a vampire. They all turned except for Krillin and Piccolo. So it's really weird
That's story. Because the vampire disease was like, I'm not gonna turn Krillin.
Well, yeah, it was Piccolo's job to turn Krillin, and Piccolo, like, while pretending to bite him, was like, Krillin, I'm not actually a vampire, but you need to pretend like you're a vampire. And he was like, okay. And that's just like how that arc went, which is kind of great.
That's why Piccolo's my favorite, man. He's just
that's why it's so cool that like they went for one of the biggest moments in Piccolo's story, which when he came to face Goku for killing his dad in Dragon Ball. So like I'm super excited for some Dragon Ball content. I don't know if they'll keep that running and do another Dragon Ball story, but it's more likely they'll move on to some super stuff after this. So yeah, if you haven't played Kakarot, you need to, because they've got new DLC coming out. So look forward to that. We do not have a release date at all. We just know it's coming out sometime this year. So look out for that.
Nice.
Speaking of stuff actually releasing this year, releasing this month, the very first FNAF Security Breach DLC is also coming out, which is called The Ruins. And this time they have decided to go with a story in which there is a kid trapped in the abandoned, rundown Pizzaplex. And I think their sister or someone has to come in to save them. So everything is degraded. Everything looks old, and the animatronics are missing like facial features. And it just looks so eerie compared to some stuff that they've released recently. And people have literally, like, I think most people have forgot because they only released like one trailer for it, but they did give us a July 2023 release date. So it does come out sometime this month, and it is 100% free. So if you just want to download it,
nice.
If you want to download it, if you played the game and go through that new story, it's probably going to be hella worth it, because the security breach was good.
Play it. I'll watch a streamer play. It'll be great.
To wrap up this episode, we have one final topic for everybody tonight, and this one is one that is kind of a big deal. I know the three of us are massive fans of the video games, and the TV show did a really good job adapting the story. But we are apparently, it's a big rumor now, but some details have leaked on The Last of Us 3. Which we kind of knew was going to be a thing for a while. We just didn't know which way they were going to take it. And one of the big elements of this game that I am actually happy about is we are done with Ellie. I think The Last of Us 2 did a beautiful job ending her story. I really didn't want them to put her through any more misery, because it's just heartbreaking what Ellie had to go through. And I think now we should focus on new people, which we are. And we're not only focusing on a new protagonist, we have 5 of them. This rumored leak.
Allegedly.
5. Allegedly.
Yeah, one of them's Lucas from Stranger Things.
It's not true.
No.
Yeah, that's a big rumor. It's like one of them's Lucas. So yeah, their names, as Justin said, one of them is named Lucas. We've also got Mason and Val and Audra and Gracie. So they said that there was going to be a pretty diverse group of people in this one. We are going to a post-apocalyptic city, which is cool to me, because while we did get Seattle in the second one, I feel like when they say post-apocalyptic city, they mean like New York or San Francisco, like bigger scaled cities. Kind of.
So here's what gets me. Think about those names for a second, and I'm going to say London.
Okay. But based off the names,
that's true.
That's a good guess, actually.
That's true. We have trekked a lot of the United States, at least. So maybe, you know what I see, actually? I don't know if we'll go to UK. We might just go further up north. Maybe get a Vancouver.
Yeah, some Canada action would be pretty cool. Okay. Now that it's been mentioned, though, I do think it would be awesome to show how it affected the rest of the world, and not just how it affected the US and all of those people. Yeah. But now that you mention it, it actually does say that the survivors' main base will be an old style Victorian home. So it is actually very possible that this game may take place in England.
All right, if Last of Us 3 comes out and it's placed in England, we better loop back to this episode.
We'll bring this
dig up this footage in 4 years from now.
Yeah,
hopefully we've got it.
It is still like we've been saying, it's a rumor. With certain rumors, they do have reliable sources. I haven't seen any big reliable sources talking about this yet, but it's possible they just haven't really caught wind of it as of right now. But that's really interesting. And they also announced that online multiplayer that was set in the world of The Last of Us. So it could be that somebody has their crosshairs mixed up and they're talking about that, but I don't know. I think with the success of the series itself, there would be no reason for them not to do a Last of Us 3. And focusing on a whole new group of people allows you to potentially have more sequels and more stories to tell. So that's really cool. There's a lot of Naughty Dog, dropping their balls on the table. We know season 2 of The Last of Us is coming. We've got the online multiplayer, potentially The Last of Us 3. So if you're a fan of those games and the worlds that they're building, they are working really hard to expand that out into kind of like a franchise, which I'm fine with. You know, that's cool.
Mhm.
I mean,
yeah,
Uncharted.
I mean,
But you know, it was Tom Holland's fault. It's like, no, that's not Tom Holland's fault.
No, they really knocked it out of the park. And like you could just tell. I hope that the people making the Fallout series bring the same level of care.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, like that's really what I like right now is that these video game adaptations are working really hard to bring in people who are extremely familiar with these games to help write the stories and design the costumes. So like I don't know. It's like the video game adaptations is actually kind of popping off right now. Like
But
we
like there's
know
some that are such hit and miss though, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, this has nothing to do with it, but like video game adaptations, we also have Fallout coming out soon. And from what we've seen from Fallout, it looks awesome. I
I
mean,
hope it's awesome, dude. I really
the
do.
set and stuff looks cool. So
it looks
it always comes down to
great.
the writing, the
Yeah.
storytelling. But
And
yeah,
for Fallout, the soundtrack is probably super important.
yeah. I hope we get that like Risque Blue soundtrack for the show.
Yeah.
That'd be sick. But
Free
yeah,
Dog.
that's we've got a lot of
Oh.
The Last of Us content to look forward to the next couple years. So if you're a fan of that, definitely be on the lookout. If you're not a fan of that, what the hell are you doing? Why have you not
Come on,
played The
man.
Last of Us yet? I mean, they've remade the game twice. Just buy one of
3
them. and
times,
watch
man. They
it.
put it on PC. Granted, it is apparently trash on PC, which is tragic.
Yeah, I guess
Just
you
get a
guys aren't
PlayStation,
so
man.
Get a
master
PlayStation.
class now, huh? It's like PC was
And if you're not
master
into
race.
AAA games, AnnaPurna's dropping a bunch of bangers. So go check out that interactive. We've hit you guys with a lot.
Yeah,
But thanks for joining us.
we're glad to have you. Can't wait to see you
Gun
again.
fingers.
Yep.
Finger
We'll
bang,
be trying to
bam.
drop weekly. So we'll see you
Yeah.
guys in the next one.
That is true. That needs to be said. So we do kind of have a concrete schedule now. So we are probably going to be releasing on Mondays moving forward. So we know Mondays suck for everybody. So hopefully we can make it just a little bit more entertaining for you. So
Yeah, make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that WA.K show dropping so we can finally see who the winner of the double points was. Make sure you
And,
keep your eyes peeled for the next Unhinged Binged. We're talking some Avatar.
Yeah,
Our victim is Alex.
we definitely mentioned that before we took our hiatus. So we do have the Avatar Unhinged binge coming out here soon. We kind of have a lot of going on in our lives right now, so I can't give you a for definite answer when that'll happen, but definitely look forward to that. And yeah, we appreciate you guys. So thanks for listening or watching, and we will definitely see you guys next Monday.
Boy.
Bye.
Yay!